Good morning, Lake Norman. This is Cornelius Mayor Woody Washam, and I am fresh from the polls this morning. We are having an interesting but very good election here in the town of Cornelius. And this is a day our About Town is going to be talking about that. We're going to discuss what's going on not only in Cornelius, but a little bit about Huntersville and our adjoining town in Davidson, which is a little bit boring up there right now. I've got two wonderful guests here, actually, two experts on the topic. And number one is somebody I have known and been working with my 10 years of elected experience, and that is Mr. Andy Yates, a local political consultant here in the Lake Norman area, but I think his experience goes way beyond Lake Norman area now. He's doing a lot, and I can't wait for you to hear about that. So, welcome, Andy.
Thank you, Mayor. Excited to be here and talk about the exciting elections coming up next Tuesday.
Fantastic. And more importantly, I have my own campaign manager, someone that many folks in this region know very well. In some cases, may like better than me, and that is my wonderful, beautiful wife, Sharon. So she has been my consultant over and above Andy for all these years as well, and we've had a lot of successes in the political realm, but we've had a good time too, and that's what makes the difference. So, welcome, Sharon Washam.
Hello, happy to be here.
Fantastic, fantastic. So, this election is important in the town of Cornelius. It's important everywhere, and it's really, really tough to get people's attention to vote in these off-year elections. And I think it's probably by statute that these municipal elections are in off years. Isn't that correct, Andy?
It is generally, there's a few cities, Winston-Salem's one, that has petitioned the state over the years to change it. So they're in, same time as presidential elections or your midterm elections in your even numbered years. But I think the logic behind having the municipal elections in odd numbered years makes sense. It's so they don't get lost on the ballot. So that people are focused on local issues. You've got well informed voters who understand what's going on. Not cheap to run even in the odd numbered years, but would also raise the cost to be able to get your message out if you're doing even numbered years. But I really think it's good for the towns that this is the focus. I wish the turnout was higher. It does appear to be up this year, but I think it's good for our towns, not just here in Lake Norman, but across the state, to have the odd numbered years to themselves. So there is a focus on your municipal issues like traffic, growth, public safety. Your local elected officials have more direct impact on what happens in your day to day life than anybody else that you vote for. So I think it's nice that they get that attention. Wish the turnout would be higher, but let's not move them and get them lost in midterm and presidential election years.
Well, it's interesting to me. I have traveled. I'm out and about all the time anyway, but particularly during this election, it was important for me to be in every single neighborhood I could be in, spend time in homes, spend time in clubhouses, spend time any way I could out with citizens to make sure I was hearing their message and making sure my message was actually reaching them. So that has been a lot of fun for me to do that, and I wouldn't take anything for it. Sharon and I have traveled throughout this town, and we would talk in the morning. It's like, okay, where are we going tonight? Where are we going to be tonight? And but she was a real trooper, and we have had so many folks to reach out and warm our hearts in so many ways and volunteer these neighborhood meetings. And that has been good. I hope it's something I can continue on after I get reelected and make that happen again. So, listening to people and spending time with folks is just really, really important. And not only spreading the message and making sure they understand what's going on. Many times I find when people are upset about things, they just don't quite have all the facts. And, you've got to really take it down to the basic foundations to explain that to them. And that's what I love doing. So, I think we've had a lot of success in that, don't you, Sharon?
I sure do. We are very honored to serve this community. But the best part has been all the people we have met and made very, very good friends. And it's just heartwarming.
Yeah, I mean, I've lived here all my life, and Sharon has lived here most of hers. And, we've been married 23 years, and we've been on quite a journey. But our network of friends and folks that we have gotten to know right here in Cornelius has totally expanded, and it's been exciting. It really has, and that is truly, without a question, the best part of this job. So anyway, I can remember Andy back when I first ran for office. I didn't know what I was doing. He's laughing at me.
Yeah.
I knew he would, but I can remember back in the day of wondering how to get my initial campaign. Once I decided, let me go back a step further and say that really I blame John Bradford for all of this because he talked me into running. It goes back to an opening that we had on our town board at one time, and they were taking applications for commissioners at that time. And I applied for it, and I almost got appointed. And I'd made my decision that I would not tell them that I would not run if I were appointed. Somebody else did, and they got appointed. So that was the difference. But I did run the next time. And John Bradford was the encouragement behind that. He supported me on that appointment, and then he supported me in that election that happened 6 and 9 months later. So that's how my political career began, and this was after serving in so many civic roles, like chairman of two chambers, president of Rotary, chairman of economic development corporations, and actually, I'll just inject right there. That's how I got to know one of our candidates for office, and that would be Robert Carney this time. So Rob and I go way on back to the beginnings of my experience with EDC. But, I had done all that, and there was really nothing else left to do other than run for public office. And being a banker for all those years, you tend to make people mad once in a while when you're an elected official. And I was just a little bit concerned about doing that while I was in the prime of my career and certainly on a career ladder. So I put it off until I was in my early 60s and have run ever since. So, it's been quite an experience, and we're trying one more time to do this and get reelected. I'm not saying I'm just going to do it one more time, but we'll make that decision as we move forward into the future. But it's been a fun job, and I've enjoyed every minute of it. So we will get into a little more details about that as we move forward in our program today. I know we've got a caller on hold, but we are going to go on a short break, and we will be right back. Mayor Woody Washam, About Town.
About Town with Cornelius Mayor Woody Washam will return after this short break on the new 105.9 100.7 WSIC.
Here is your WSIC community calendar. Thanks to everyone who came out to the WSIC yard sale in Statesville. It was so much fun to celebrate with the world-famous Pat Shannon and the entire community. Love bluegrass music? Chatham County Line is coming to Kane Center for the Arts Friday night. Buy your tickets before they sell out. kanearts.org. Chatham County Line, this Friday night. Doors open at 7 p.m. and the show starts at 8. kanearts.org. The 20th annual Pumpkin Fest is
Hey,
this
Jim, can you hear me?
weekend in downtown Statesville.
Yes.
Starting at
All right,
10
cool deal.
a.m.
We're going to get to you
Come
on the
out
other side of the break, all right?
Statesville for Pumpkin Fest.
Nah, no
A
worries.
full
Like I
day of
say,
fun
get
for
me in
the
when you
entire
can.
family.
All right, thank you.
Pumpkin Fest,
All right.
downtown Statesville.
Thank you.
Saturday from 10 a.m. until 5 p.m. For more info, visit downtownstatesville.com. Santa is coming to town. Schedule your time to take pictures with Santa at Birkdale Village. Spots are limited and must be scheduled in advance. Santa will be at Birkdale between November 19th and Christmas Eve. Appointments include time with Santa and 8 digital images from a professional photographer. For more info and to schedule your time with Santa, visit birkdalevillage.com. Have an event you'd like to tell people about? Yard sales, estate sales, and everything in between? Visit WSICnews.com and click on events to submit your event today.
The Renaissance Festival is back Saturdays and Sundays now through November 19th. Time travel to a land of legends. Jousting knights, mermaids, fairies, dragons. Oh my! Tickets available online only at renfestinfo.com while supplies last. Don't miss it! The Carolina Renaissance Festival is sponsored by Sunbelt Rentals for all your equipment rental needs. Equipment service guaranteed. Huzzah!
And now for a look at your weather forecast from the WSIC Weather Center. Sunny skies and a high temperature this afternoon, getting up near 50 degrees. It'll be a windy one out there today, as we'll have gusts as high as 23 miles per hour. Heading into the overnight, the skies are going to remain clear, but that low temperature tonight is going to be freezing cold. We'll get down around 26 degrees. This has been your weather forecast from the WSIC Weather Center.
Call now to speak with Cornelius Mayor Woody Washam at 844 Studio 4. It's About Town on the new 1059 100.7 WSIC.
Be a part of the conversation.
I listen on the way to work.
Have your say.
It's more than just opinions, it's facts.
This is WSIC News Talk Now.
Good morning again, Lake Norman. Mayor Woody Washam from Cornelius here with you today with a couple special guests, Andy Yates and your First Lady, Sharon Washam. And welcome back, everyone. And I believe I understand we have a caller out there. So, Jim Vogel, are you out there?
Well, good morning, Mayor. How are you?
Good morning, Jim. Good to hear from you. Thank you for calling us. What you got on your mind today? I know you always got something on your mind.
Well, good morning, Andy, and good morning, my favorite uncampaign manager.
Hi there, Jim.
Good morning, Jim.
As well this morning. I wanted to really share something I think is very, very important with our audience this morning. I chair the Lake Norman Small Business Network, and we have offline gatherings in Cornelius, and we have thousands of members online, and we're always welcoming and serving, and we always provide an opportunity for growth for everyone, regardless of race, color, or creed. But the Lake Norman Small Business Network is more than that. We're the voice of small business around the lake. And of course, as a resident of Cornelius, I truly ask all our voters listening today to vote either early this week or on Tuesday. Personally, I strongly urge all of you to vote for Mayor Woody Washam. Not only is he a regular at our weekly Wednesday meetings, his leadership got us through COVID. He listens to all of our small business needs, and I'll tell you, he'll call me right back when I call him, and I call him quite often about situations. He takes care of it. His commitment to our downtown, the new pain center, the focus on Parks and Rec, and how he takes care of our first responders. I mean, it's well known. So I personally and professionally have to say that there's only really one choice for you to vote for, and I truly mean it from my heart. Woody, I wish you well on Tuesday.
Well, Jim, that is so nice. That you're going to make me cry right here on my own radio
Me
show.
too.
But thank you for doing that. I know it's not easy for you to come on so strong for a particular candidate, but I'm so grateful to you for doing that. You're a good friend, and you are certainly a fabulous advisor to me as it relates to small business. I've been dealing with small business as a banker for probably over 50 years now, and it's been a pleasure for me to do that, and it's just a natural for me to be in and amongst your small business members as often as I can get there. So absolutely. And I had an idea while you were talking too. I want to get you back on this show, and I know you're getting ready in, I believe it's December, to name the Small Business of the Year here in this area. Is that correct?
Yes, that's right.
Well, I look forward to getting you and that person back on this show, and we're going to really delve into small business and what they're all about. So, and the difficulties and challenges and rewards, many rewards that you get as a small business here in this region. It's fabulous. But thank you again for those kind words, and we appreciate you calling. You can call anytime, man. You can call back today if you like. So,
Yeah, I wanted to share also that we are an apolitical group. We welcome everyone, regardless of who you are or what you're about. Now, we can't have Mr. Marion or Mr. Hendrick walk in the door. They're just not a fit. But every single person that's a solopreneur or small business owner out there is welcome to our meetings. But I want to say, for me personally, having known you for a number of years, I don't see any other choice for mayor but Washam. And thank you, Mayor.
thank you. Thank you so much, Jim. I greatly appreciate that. And we're going to do our best to make that happen here and have another term and do some good things, not only for small business, but for our entire community. So it's an exciting time for us. And we hope you'll come and join us for our post-election celebration. I'm calling it a celebration at Al's Bar and Grill, another wonderful small business here in our community, right after the polls close. So you are certainly welcome to join us there, as is everyone. We aren't excluding anyone from that because it is a celebration, I think, for our community. But thanks, Jim. You have a great day, and thanks for calling.
Thank you for the opportunity, and thank you very much for the time.
Appreciate it. Appreciate
Thanks,
it.
Jim.
So
Thank you, Jim.
You're welcome.
here we go, Andy. So I am now into running for my fourth term as mayor. That's kind of unprecedented around here, isn't it?
It really is. I mean, I think it's a accomplishment that you've hung in there this long, have the support you do, what you've testament to the work you put into it, what you've been able to get done for the community, and to see the outpouring of support that you still have. It's sometimes after 6 years as mayor and a couple of terms on town commissioner, sometimes people wear out their welcome. I think it's obvious that you have not done that. That there's growing appreciation and support for what you've been able to accomplish here in Cornelius, whether that's the Kane Arts Center, the 13 transportation projects that have been approved, lowest property taxes in the region, could go on and on. I think you see that with the strong support that you've been getting out on the trail and financially, the volunteers we have. I mean, it's obvious there's a lot of momentum behind the campaign.
Well, that's awesome, and it really has been or is a fabulous run for me. It just gets better and better, and I never will forget the first time I ran for office back in 2013. I didn't know if I'd get elected or not. I mean, I knew it was my hometown. I have known folks through growing up here. I've known folks as a banker here. I've known folks as a church organist at my church here over at Mount Zion United Methodist. And, I really just didn't know. So I had to have somebody to tell me how to do it. How do you know what to tell people when they first come to you that have never done this before? What are some key ingredients that you advise people on?
I think the number one thing is to help people help people understand what I do. I don't change who you are. I don't change what you believe. Don't tell you what to say. It's not a puppet master kind of thing. I think some people think that, but it's in some ways it's no different than doing marketing or PR for a small business, like what Jim was talking about, or a larger business. It's helping you understand who the audience is that you need to reach, what are the best ways to reach those, and what messages you need to highlight from those folks, and what are the resources it's going to take to do that, and keep that focus on those things. I mean, one of the great things about local elections is we know who our audience is. It's very predictable who votes in a local election, so we know who we need to reach, who we need to get in front of. So that's a big part of helping folks focus and drill down. That's one of the common mistakes first-time candidates make is they want to go to everybody. Mm-hmm. They think that they can get everybody to go vote for them. They think they need to talk to everybody. They don't do that drill down and focus. So it's helping candidates. What I do is helping candidates, it's helping associations, issue groups, sometimes it's businesses, make data-driven decisions so that we're putting the right messages in front of the right people with the right delivery mechanism, whether that's digital advertising or direct mail, or it's neighborhood meet and greets, or knocking on doors, or text messages, whatever the delivery mechanism is, that it's being delivered to the right folks, and we're picking the right mechanisms. It's about going to people where they spend their time. I mean, and that's been a big change, I think, over the 10 years you've run, is more and more of a shift of budget and focus to reaching people digitally online, whether that's on their computer, their laptop, their cell phone, where probably we all spend more time than anything else, on a tablet, or on streaming TV, which more people watch now than cable or broadcast TV. So it's getting those messages across to folks where they're at. And I think we've been able to do a good job with that, the campaign. And my hat's off to you and Sharon, because you all listen. You make it easy. I work with some folks that, that they think they've got all the answers, and fight you the whole way, and that's never the case here. And I think that's one of the reasons you're successful. Your focus, you knew what you wanted to tell the people, Cornelius. You knew what your vision was. You had that down, so you were willing to listen as far as what to highlight in that, how to wordsmith it, who to get it in front of, and the tactics to use to get it there. And I think that's made it pretty seamless campaigns over the years.
Yeah, I think so. I think generally, one of the things that was important to me this particular time was that, we didn't need to run a negative campaign, because our town is not broke. And, why would you go out there and try to fix something that isn't broke?
Exactly.
So, that was a message I'm a pretty competitive individual. So, I had to come to grips with that, and just realize that we needed to stay above board pretty much. Actually, Andy and Sharon were trying to talk me into going on a long vacation back in September and come back after the election.
Andy and I were going to handle it.
we had it under control.
Yes, we did.
Sharon?
Yes, we did.
Actually, I just obviously couldn't do that. So, so it was either me containing myself or really taking them up on that long vacation. So anyway, I'm here, and I'm out at the polls every day as much as I possibly can be, which is most of the day. And I'm just really having a ball talking to the folks of this town, and watching them file through. Some of them have their mind made up. I think more this year than I've ever seen, Andy.
I'm seeing more.
I don't know if they're seeing all this stuff on TV. I hope they are, or on their digital devices or whatever. I'm just not sure what the difference is, but it's it is different running this time. Having been elected 3 terms as mayor without an opponent, and all of a sudden I have one this time. It's changed a bit, and you just described how. And it's also much more expensive, and I'm so fortunate that I had a lot of support, financial support and moral support, and just individuals encouraging me along the way to I think plug on with this. So Andy tells me that the money I had in my campaign account was given to me to make a difference and get elected. So we're putting it out there.
Exactly.
We're absolutely putting it out there. So fun time. Mayor Woody Washam here, and it's about town. We'll be right back.
More About Town with Cornelius Mayor Woody Washam is coming up on the new 105.9 100.7 WSIC.
Got a Toyota? Get it serviced at Quality Car Care of Statesville. Looking for a great pre-owned vehicle? Quality Car Care has you covered at 2040 Old Mountain Road. Visit QualityCarCareStatesville.com.
And now for a look at your weather forecast from the WSIC Weather Center. Sunny skies and a high temperature this afternoon, getting up near 50 degrees. It'll be a windy one out there today, as we'll have gusts as high as 23 miles per hour. Heading into the overnight, the skies are going to remain clear, but that low temperature tonight is going to be freezing cold. We'll get down around 26 degrees. This has been your weather forecast from the WSIC Weather Center.
In life, we plan for many important things. Weddings, our children's education, retirement. A celebration of life is really no different. Planning and paying for your life celebration in advance will give you and your family valuable peace of mind. We'll help you take care of every detail with professionalism and compassion. We're Lynn Honeycutt Funeral Home. Find us at DignityMemorial.com.
It's the shopping event of the season, the Southern Christmas Show, November 9th through 19th at the Park Expo and Conference Center. Naughty or nice, explore a nautical-inspired entrance filled with coastal Christmas charm. Plus, shop hundreds of booths to find one-of-a-kind gifts for everyone on your list. Buy tickets early and save at SouthernChristmasShow.com. Online tickets courtesy of Kraft Body Scan.
Let's go to the Southern Christmas Show.
Make your work easier with Eagle Rentals of Troutman and Statesville. Eagle Rentals has generators, heaters, fans, painting equipment, floor care equipment, pressure washers, lighting equipment, and lawn care equipment. Plus, Eagle Rentals has construction equipment like forklifts, bobcat loaders, backhoes, excavators, and more. Reserve online at EagleRentals.com. That's EagleRentals.com.
Morning Star Baptist Church loves its family, its community, and its country, but most importantly, loves Jesus Christ. Hear their ministry Sunday mornings at 9:30 on WSIC.
It's About Town with Cornelius Mayor Woody Washam on the new 105.9 100.7 WSIC.
Good morning again for our next segment of About Town. Cornelius Mayor Woody Washam right here, and we're all about the upcoming election in our municipalities up and down the interstate here. Just talking a little bit about my experience this time versus a few other times. With me today are consultant Andy Yates and my campaign manager and chief advisor, Sharon Washam, your First Lady here in Cornelius. So we're happy to be back with you. And, we were just talking about the campaign, as far as I'm concerned, is a little different since the last time I'd had a significant, I guess you'd say, race to run, because I hadn't had an opponent in the last few times. And, the expense of all this and the way you go about getting elected now has really changed. And it really starts with a good fundraising mission. And, of course, I'm used to raising a lot of money. I've done that, but it's a little bit awkward to raise money for yourself. And, I was so fortunate this time that I was able to get 2 or 3 significant people in our community to hit the streets for me and make those calls. And boy, did they make those calls. And, I don't know how the amount of money I raised compares with the past. I didn't bother to make that comparison because it doesn't matter. But it was certainly heartwarming, and all the encouragement we got that goes along with it. So as far as our other candidates here in this race, Andy, you stay so plugged in. I know you're very familiar with all of our candidates, all of our 10 candidates for the board. And, I guess my question to you is, sort of a general question, but I kind of will let you say what you think about all this. Who of our 10 are running good campaigns out there in your opinion, and what are they doing right, and what could they all do better?
Yeah, it's an intriguing race. I mean, you've got obviously 10 candidates, 3 incumbents, 2 former members, a couple of newcomers that are kind of new to the political scene, but have been very prominent in the business world, economic development world here. Folks in planning board, various and sundry folks who step forward to run, and it's interesting to watch what's happening. I think the candidates you seem to be seeing the most from right now are Robert Carney and Bob Menzel. They seem to be the most active in terms of campaigning. You've seen some stuff from other folks as well, but I think they seem to be checking the boxes in terms of both the paid communication targeted to likely voters, heavy digital presence, but as well as that grassroots component. And I think that's something that you can't lose sight of. There's nothing more important than having that one-on-one interaction with the candidate for office. I mean,
And that
yeah,
has amazed me with those two in particular. We talk amongst each other with everybody there at the polls, but in their case, in those two, Mr. Menzel and Mr. Carney, I mean, they have literally walked this entire town and knocked on door after door, gone in and sat down with constituents throughout this community, and sat on front porches and had, I can't tell you how many conversations they tell me about. Isn't that incredible?
it is. It is. I mean, there's nothing that replaces that connection. People want to know, especially at the local level, people want to know and have the experience of meeting the people they're going to vote for. And most of them haven't met a town commissioner before. I mean, you know more than most. And, we've got some folks here, you and Cornelius, Mayor Knox, and Davidson in particular, that do a great job of getting out of community. But a lot of those folks don't have that interaction. They want somebody to listen to them. They want to have that personal connection with folks. And it makes a difference. I mean, Patrick McHenry's been sitting in Congress for 20 years because he knocked on more doors than anybody I've ever known in my life. He got elected to Congress in his mid-20s. Was the youngest member of the Congress at the time. It works. It's hard work. People don't want to do it. You got to do the paid side too. You definitely have a more meaningful conversation with somebody when you show up their door and they've heard of you before. They know who you are. They're also just more willing to talk to you. But it's it's not an easy thing to do. It's an intimidating thing to do, but it pays off, and it's important, especially I think at the local level, for voters to know who their candidates are, who their town commissioners are, who their mayor is. You do a great job being out all over the community. That makes a difference, and people need, feel comfortable to pick up the phone, to send an email, and let their voice be heard on this, because that's your job ultimately is to be their voice. More than anything else, they're voting for you because they agree with what you believe, but they're also voting for you because they're going to stand up for them, just like you did stopping that business park on Bailey Road.
Yes.
You heard from the citizens, 600 people signed a petition, huge crowds at town hall, and you said, no, our people don't want this. We're not going to move forward with it. May look like a good project on paper, but if it's not what the people in Cornelius want, we're not going to move forward with it. If you don't build those relationships with folks, they're not going to feel comfortable making their voices heard a lot of times. They're not going to know who to go to, and you're not going to know how they feel, so you can't reflect the community. So I think it's important as candidates that you're out there meeting voters one-on-one at their door in small group settings, the households, and it's important that you continue to do that after you get elected to office.
Exactly. There's a natural ingredient of apathy in any community, and as we have gone out and about in many households and places around the town, this particular election, folks would get invited to those events, and it didn't have anything to do with me, but it's hard to get people engaged. It really is. And, to knock on their front door is certainly a good way to do it. But we've got a lot of talent in our candidate pool this time for commissioners. And, I look at Dr. Mike Miltick, and, I don't always agree with Dr. Mike on everything, but what I do know is that he brings the transportation banner back to our town. After he followed me, I actually served on CRTPO, our funding mechanism for roads in this area, for 4 years, and that was the beginning of our 13 road projects that we have. Fought for those, got those on the list, got them ultimately approved, handed it over when I was elected mayor to Dr. Miltick, and boy, did he ever run with it. He really did. And his second 2 years being on the CRTPO, he was elected chairman. That was so significant to our town. And then he didn't quite make it this last time. And, I actually appointed my opponent down there, and nothing's happened the last 2 years. Very unfortunate. Our road projects have been delayed numbers of times, but not everybody's have gotten delayed, but ours did. And that's just not acceptable. So I know we're going to have a change at CRTPO with our representative. I hope I'm mayor to work with somebody like Dr. Miltic that can make a difference and get back into leadership. And I think that will make a huge difference for Cornelius. So I just wanted to point that out. Transportation is the highest priority. I'm very clear on that here in our town. It's not growth. This town has only grown 0.6% in the last 24 months. That's basically no growth. And it's folks that are driving on our roads that live in Denver or Huntersville or Mooresville or these fast-growing towns that surround us that are making this difference, this impact on our transportation system here in Cornelius. And some folks don't understand that. They really don't.
I think it's important, whether you're running in Huntersville, Cornelius, or Davidson, to point out to folks that traffic problems don't stop and start at the town limit signs. That people drive back and forth between the communities all the time. I mean, I live in Huntersville. I probably spend more time in Cornelius than I do in Huntersville, just where I go throughout the day. Traffic problems, crime doesn't pay any attention to what town it's in. It's where people go and their behaviors on the roads. And that's what's important, that we have folks like you who have relationships already in place with the key leaders and staff in Huntersville, in Davidson, in Mooresville, in Lincoln County, down in Charlotte, with Mecklenburg County government, with the state government, because there's got to be a comprehensive solution to this. We can fix Cornelius roads that the town has control over. It's not going to it may make your life a little bit better, and there'll be less potholes, so maybe some of those rides are more enjoyable, and it's a good thing to do, but it's not going to really make a dent in the traffic problem unless there are regional solutions where folks work together on this. And I will tell you, those relationships at CRTPO are critical, because it's, right or wrong, it's the strength of the voice you've got, the leadership you've got on that board, or any of the regional transportation boards around the state, that determines, in a lot of ways, what the priorities are. Yes, we have formulas. Yes, we've taken some of the politics out of it. But at the end of the day, you've got to have somebody that's able to bang on the table and advocate in an effective way for their town, and also understands the formulas, the rules and regulations, and how to navigate their town's projects through there, and has relationships to get other members to vote for it. I mean, there's nothing going to pass that board just because Cornelius wants it. You've got to be able to cobble together a coalition of folks to get it done. And, I think that's been lacking the last 2 years. I think some of the relationships that you have made up for that. And thankfully, we had a lot of projects already in the pipeline, but we can't afford to continue to lose effectiveness on those regional boards like that, or to have somebody starting over as mayor who doesn't, who's meeting these people for the first time. There's too much that's got to be done here.
Yes, too much at stake here. There really is, and I do know that the relationships that I have, and not only me but others that are on our board, like Dr. Miltic, really will make a difference. And I'm enjoying spending time with Thurman Ross as well out there on the campaign trail. Thurman is one of these commissioners that at the end of the day always does the right thing. So, I've enjoyed updating my time with him and getting a little more familiar with what he brings to the table. So here we go, the elections of 2023, municipal elections. More to come. This is Cornelius Mayor Woody Washam, and we are about town talking about elections today. We'll be right back.
Here is your WSIC community calendar. Thanks to everyone who came out to the WSIC yard sale in Statesville. It was so much fun to celebrate with the world-famous Pat Shannon and the entire community. Love bluegrass music? Chatham County Line is coming to Kane Center for the Arts Friday night. Buy your tickets before they sell out. kanearts.org. Chatham County Line, this Friday night. Doors open at 7 p.m. and the show starts at 8. kanearts.org. The 20th Annual Pumpkin Fest is this weekend in downtown Statesville. Starting at 10 a.m., come out to downtown Statesville for Pumpkin Fest, a full day of fun for the entire family. Pumpkin Fest, downtown Statesville, Saturday from 10 a.m. until 5 p.m. For more info, visit downtownstatesville.com. Santa is coming to town. Schedule your time to take pictures with Santa at Birkdale Village. Spots are limited and must be scheduled in advance. Santa will be at Birkdale between November 19th and Christmas Eve. Appointments include time with Santa and 8 digital images from a professional photographer. For more info and to schedule your time with Santa, visit birkdalevillage.com. Have an event you'd like to tell people about? Yard sales, estate sales, and everything in between? Visit WSICnews.com and click on events to submit your event today.
The Renaissance Festival is back Saturdays and Sundays now through November 19th. Time travel to a land of legends. Jousting knights, mermaids, fairies, dragons. Oh my! Tickets available online only at renfestinfo.com while supplies last. Don't miss it! The Carolina Renaissance Festival is sponsored by Sunbelt Rentals for all your equipment rental needs. Equipment service guaranteed. Huzzah!
And now for a look at your weather forecast from the WSIC Weather Center. Sunny skies and a high temperature this afternoon getting up near 50 degrees. It'll be a windy one out there today as we'll have gusts as high as 23 miles per hour. Heading into the overnight, the skies are going to remain clear, but that low temperature tonight is going to be freezing cold. We'll get down around 26 degrees. This has been your weather forecast from the WSIC Weather Center.
About Town continues now. Here's your host, Cornelius Mayor Woody Washam, on the new 105.9 100.7 WSIC.